Hey, back again with the second video for the day. My movie review, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania movie review. Actually, this video was actually supposed to went up like a few days ago, but I was for some weird reason I kept having issues with when it came to uploading the video. So I had to just end up scrapping it and redoing my review. And yeah, I just did my payroll Ghost Mode album review. So I was like, well, after that I'll just redo my movie review. So we're here to talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp. Um, this is the third entry in the Ant-Man series. Let's be honest, the Ant-Man movies are good, but they've always been underrated. They've always been underrated. I mean, yeah, the first two movies installments didn't really tie in into the bigger MCU. Like the first Ant-Man movie came out 2 months after Age of Ultron, and that was the last movie of Phase Two. And then the second movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp, came out 2 months after Infinity War, but it tied into Infinity War at the very end. But yeah, so now we get to this, you know, this third installment. This is the first MCU movie for Phase Five, kicking off Phase Five. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, I like this movie. I like this movie. It's getting a lot of hate. You know, I done seen a couple of people's reviews. You know, everybody a little butthurt, blah blah blah. Oh, I didn't like this movie. Oh, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. You just can't satisfy everybody, and that's fine. But I'm one of the ones that liked it. Is it the best thing ever? No, no, not even close. Is it my favorite MCU movie? No, definitely not. Definitely not my favorite in any case in point. But the movie as a whole and the story that they told, I liked it for what it was. The cast was great. Paul Rudd once again, hilarious as Scott Lang slash Ant Man. Evangeline Lilly as Hope Van Dyne slash Wasp. She was great. She didn't really have that much to do in this movie though, unfortunately. But even though she's one of the two title characters, but yeah, she didn't really have that much to do in the movie, which is a bummer. Um, Michael Douglas as Hank Pym, always good in this role. Um, Michelle Pfeiffer once again as Janet Van Dyne. You know, she really had a lot. She was her and Scott were kind of like the main focal points, along with the main antagonist of the movie, which is one of my favorite parts of the movie. My boy Jonathan Majors as Kane the Conqueror, man. Mr. Majors, man, he's been killing it, man. I've been following this cat since Lovecraft Country. It was kind of a bummer that show got canceled after one season, but yeah, man. And I can't wait to see him in Creed 3, going up against Killmonger. Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, man, this dude, man, I've been following this cat since, like I said, since Lovecraft Country, man. This dude is that dude. He's that deal, man. He's that deal. Pretty much, the movie starts with, a flashback with Janet Van Dyne and Kang in the quantum realm trying to, build a device to help get out of the quantum realm. because Janet, we already know since the first Ant-Man movie, Janet was stuck in the quantum realm for 30 years, and she's been down, and she's been working with Mister the Conqueror for that time, and she kind of did like some little questionable, she kind of did some little questionable things while there until she finally saw Kang saw his true colors and decided to break away from him, and she eventually got free at the end of the second movie, and then she got dusted by the snap for 5 years, and then came back post Endgame. Well, came back during Endgame, and now we're here. So we get the little flashback. Then we catch up with present day with Scott and Hope. Pretty much, man. Ever since the events of Endgame, dude is just a full-time celebrity, as opposed to what we see with certain characters back in during Phase 4. Yeah, man, like dude, wrote a book. Everybody knows about the whole, like the public knows about the whole events of Endgame, how him and the Avengers went back in time and retrieved the Infinity Stones and brought everybody back. And how he was a key player on helping defeat Thanos. So dude is full-time celebrity, and him and Hope, they're still dating. And we meet up with Scott's daughter, Cassie Lang. I'm sorry, I forgot her name for a minute. We meet up with her. She's kind of like getting locked up. Pretty much following in her dad's footsteps, pretty much. And she builds a device. She builds a little quantum device that will allow them to enter the quantum realm at free will, and something goes wrong, like something goes wrong, of course, and the main characters, Scott, Hope, Hank, Janet, and Cassie, all five of them accidentally get pulled into the quantum realm. Then they looking like, all right, what's going on? Blah blah blah. We got to get back. And Janet is kind of on the fence because of course she's been there for 3 decades, so she she kind of knows what's going on, but she doesn't want to tell her family, about Kang and some of the stuff she had to do, some of the questionable stuff she did while she was down there, so on and so forth. And they meet some of the civilians within the quantum realm, and then we get introduced to Kang, played by Jonathan Majors. He, man, just from his I can't talk. From his introduction, man, like the dude is intimidating, like highly intelligent. Like he commands his overall presence, commands the entire room. Everybody's afraid of him. Got all his little lackeys and whatnot. He's intrigued by he's intrigued by Scott. He's been trapped in the quantum realm for so long that he, somewhat goes a little insane as to how long he's been down there. He's talking to Scott, oh, have I killed you before? Oh, no. Then he starts bragging, oh, I've killed numerous Avengers and other timelines and blah, blah, blah. This and the third. So, he ends up kidnapping Cassie, and, he makes a bargain with Scott. Hey, you get what I need. You can have your daughter back, and you can get the time back that you missed out. Being back and forth in prison, and being stuck in the quantum realm for 5 years and whatnot. So it's one of those typical type stories, but it was good. I'll probably say one of my main negatives about the movie. I didn't like how they took out Kang. I didn't like how he went out. Even though no, I don't believe he's dead. People just stuck on that. Oh no, man, they killed him off in his first appearance. Blah, blah. No, these are comic book characters. If you don't see a body, they're not dead. He got sucked into the little time vortex, um, within the quantum realm, but he's not dead. He's the main antagonist for these next two phases. No, yeah, he was defeated. Like I said, which was kind of silly how they took him out. I mean, but no, I do not believe for a fact he's dead. Like I said, if you read comics, for all my comic book fans, if you read comics, the a character is never truly dead unless the writers confirm it. But no, I don't believe he's dead. And as for my second negative, I didn't really like how um, I didn't really like the fact that Scott didn't really learn anything from this. It's like, bro, it's like, come on, man. After the second Ant-Man movie and Endgame, it's like, you're no longer an underdog anymore. You're like a seasoned hero slash Avenger. You would think you would have thought Scott would have learned, actually thought of some had higher morals and actually thought of the consequences. So I'll probably say that was a second little nitpick I had with the movie. Scott didn't the protagonist didn't really learn anything from this, and Kane told him in the movie, like, there are multiple versions of me out here. There are so if you get rid of one version, there are going to be tens of thousands of other versions to take its place. And Scott kind of at the end of the movie, once they escape the quantum realm and go back to normal, living a normal life, no, he kind of just brushes it off bro, what are you doing? This dude, you should have took heed to his threat. But like I said, man, Kang, he was good. Honestly, one of the best parts about this movie. But like I said, I just didn't like how they took him out at the end. That was my biggest issue. I didn't like how they took him out, and I didn't like how Scott didn't learn his lesson. But aside from those two nitpicks, the movie was great. I've seen the movie twice already prior to this recording. I loved it. The first time I saw it, I liked it even more. The second viewing, of course, I'm gonna wait for it to come out on Disney Plus, and then of course I'm gonna cop the Blu-ray, of course. Add it to my collection. But yeah, man, it was a good start. Not the greatest start, but it was a good start to Phase 5. Like I said, I'm not bitching and moaning like everybody else is. Oh, this is the worst thing ever. People comparing this movie to Thor: Love and Thunder, and that's an insult. Cause that movie, unlike Ant-Man, Thor: Love and Thunder was trash, forgettable. That was trash. Eternals was trash. No, they're comparing this movie to Thor: Love and Thunder and Eternals, and that's an insult. Like I said, it was good. The movie was good on its own. No, it's not the best thing ever. Blah blah blah. But I liked it for what it was. Um, yeah, like I said, it was good. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. I like both of the mid credit scenes. The first one, we get to see the Council of Kings. They took that panel right out the comics. That was a dope. Like I think Jonathan Majors. I think he played like. I think they said he cameoed in like 25 different versions of Kane within that group shot. So I like that. I thought that was dope. And then the second end credit scene was pretty much a clip from what we're going to see in Loki season 2, where Loki and Morbius, Owen Wilson's character from season 1, are in a crowd at a show. I think like in the 19, I think the 1920s. I think it was the 1920s, if I'm not mistaken. Victor, Victor something. I can't remember the character's name, but it was pretty much another variant of Kane from the 1920s named Victor something. I can't think of his. I can't remember his last name. But yeah, that was just another version of Kane in the past. Um, yeah, man. Like I said, seeing the main versions. We got to see Immortus, um, the Ultra Centurion version of Kane, and Ramatut, the Ramatut version. We got to see. We also got to see a Doctor Doom, somewhat a version of Kane that was kind of dressed like Doctor Doom in a sense, which I thought was dope. Because in the comics he is a descendant of both Reed Richards and Victor Von Doom, so it would only make sense. And plus they've gone back and forth in the comics before, so it was dope, man. Like I said, I give this movie, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, it was good for what it was. Not the best thing ever, but it was still good. But until then, peace, one love.